Good morning.
I already got the ice loaded up.
Oh, you do?
Yep. Sweet. Literally just throw whatever else you got in and we're good to go get Jesse.
Good man.
Ryan had the tag, but Jesse and I were in it together with him. We were overjoyed to be heading to the great state of Montana, and the price of travel didn't hinder our spirits. Not only were we excited to chase after the majestic elk and the admirable mule deer, but we were also elated to escape from our occupation and taste the freedom of the mountains. Granted, nothing goes perfect, and we all just have to learn to ride the roller coaster called life.
Your service representative will assist you shortly.
Something exciting happened. We almost died. Is there any better way to put that? I mean,
Potential was there.
we we went through 2 chances of death, and we still have 4 that saved us. We had 2 lug nuts on the tire snap right off. Not lug nuts, the bolts snapped right off on us. Got a little squirrely, Ricky Bobby things, and you know, scared Jesse a little bit. He was clenching his butt cheeks in the back, but it all worked out all right. It all worked out all right. Oh, you weren't buckled in the back seat?
Of course I was, because my mom's watching this. Guys, I think it's the spark plugs.
I think it's the blinker fluid.
So yeah, insurance didn't help us much. We were conveniently located between 2 towns, and the service providers were both outside of our service areas, so they couldn't provide a tow for us. Plus, holiday weekend didn't work out. So found a local auto parts shop, and
Mechanic Robert.
Mr. Fix It himself.
As long as I don't die under this thing.
Yeah, please don't do that.
I'll catch you.
She's coming.
That's what she said.
Update. After a jack, about $200 worth of parts. Just good to go, man. Some new studs.
That's cleaned. That's cleaned.
Yeah, some new studs. We're gonna give it a shot. Hey, bitch.
Pretty dry.
Not food.
The air was cool, crisp, and dry compared to the humid state of Michigan. Vegetation was dry, and we knew our e-scouting for our first location could be thrown out the window. So we stayed mobile in our efforts. We packed up our gear after the first night and headed further north, hoping we could get away from fires and drought conditions.
What do you think? So far, pretty great.
And arriving just before dark, we spotted something in the dirt road that caught our eye, and it wasn't cattle.
It's a good shot.
It didn't like fall out of the truck, did it?
No, you can see it was like squirreling all right through there. Actually, look at tracks. No. Should we drag them off the side of the road?
See if
Well,
they're on
yeah, go
which
ahead.
side they're on.
Interesting. So we We didn't kill this muley, but maybe Jesse wants a grip and grin.
Want to do a quick one?
We were just coming into where we figured camp was. Yeah, there's blood there. Trails from up there. And he died right here in the middle of the road. Came from up the hill. Blood trail comes from up the hill. So maybe we can help whoever shot it find it.
They're coming down.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good one, guys.
Maybe it's just the way the group of us are, but I truly feel like hunters as a whole tend to look out for each other and help when possible. Still, we hope the good favor would return to us, and we would be rewarded with meat for dinner in the coming days. Which ultimately almost came to fruition the following day.
If you can shoot them, get them. You got a shot right where I'm standing. Yeah. It's one small opening.
Not next time you'll
I didn't think he'd stand there that long. Especially with the wind swirling around in here and stuff.
I don't think we were hitting him. It was at my neck right here this whole time.
Yeah.
So I figured he had just come over a little bit, so I
think he was bedded there.
I didn't even mention my lane because I figured he's gonna move over a little bit, have a shot. We ain't gonna have much time. You gonna have enough time to come over here. And
Yeah, if you got a shot, man, let me know.
Excited from the close encounter, we pressed on. And we quickly found a large herd of elk on private land that bordered the public. We figured with the cattle watering trough on the public side, they would filter their way to us closer to dusk. Thermals didn't hold, and we were confident the herd wouldn't be going anywhere anytime soon. So we decided to make a couple smaller moves and try some slopes on different mountains. Again, staying mobile provided opportunity to other wildlife and kept the vigor flowing through our veins.
Squeak him.
Oh.
They go right over top.
Under him.
Right under him.
Yeah, he's still there.
Oh, there he is. Oh, for one. I thought he'd see us. I didn't think I'd have enough time to range him and stuff. I'd have had enough time to range him and everything.
That was pretty fun.
Did you see that?
No, what?
The grouse just run across the room.
You gonna try and kill it?
No fletch there. No fletch there. Just see what
We're
happens.
close to the truck. Be perfect. Oh yeah. Yes. Go get her. We got dinner. We got dinner. I can't believe it.
Who needs fletching?
Yeah, who needs
Who
watching?
needs fletching?
Finally, we tasted some success after a handful of days of exertion. The little victories are important in life to take note of, as oftentimes they're the only things that encourage you to keep moving forward. More sweat, elevation climbs, spike camps, and a copious amount of miles under our feet checking for roaming elk led us to draw the conclusion that we stink, and it was finally time to remove some of it off of our bodies. And with that vigor reinstalled in our body after a brisk bath, we returned to the herd of elk we previously had found on private and public, and we began competing with the local hunters in the area.
Just rising now.
You want me a bugle? Didn't even care.
You already talked about the hunters that we saw this morning, right? So we kind of stayed just a little bit of ahead of them and above them all the way through as they were aggressively calling.
Aggressive.
Yeah, they pretty sure they had the old Primo's Terminator tube out in full force. They might have went through a few reeds this morning, but they got the elk to talk back to them, so maybe.
Hey, we had that they actually brought close to us.
Yeah. So we had one come in about about 100 yards or so. Just couldn't lay eyes on them, and I don't know if I think the wind switched on those guys. I think they kind of hunted with the wind, which was a little disappointing. But that's kind of why we were staying up high, thinking that maybe the elk would come up and try to win the sound that was coming through. So I think that was a fairly decent strategy, but it just didn't pan out. And so we went past them because the elk were still headed to the east, and went up a little higher into this grass field here that we seen. We were out here Monday, trying to stay even with what we could hear down below, thinking that they might come up. When we got out into this field, there was a elk right up on the edge there. So
was there two then? Because I saw a fuzzy.
I saw one elk.
I saw a cow and a fuzzy.
A cow and a fuzzy horn?
Okay,
so there's two up. Okay. Yeah, so we worked our way up through the edge here and got on this point of these poplars and hung out here thinking maybe that the rest of the herd would be coming up. And gosh, we stood there for probably 20 minutes or so, and Robert dropped back down here to look down and see if he could see anything coming up the hillside or hear anything. And I turn around looking behind Jesse and I, and there's a 5x5 bull, 5x6 bull, whatever he is, standing 180 yards away. So he flipped around on him, and we called at him a couple times, and he looked, but he didn't really have.
Sadly, we were unable to catch up to the bull that day, and at this point, things started to fall apart for us, primarily our mode of transportation. After an awesome day of chasing bugling elk, the fuel module rotted off the tank of my truck, and we had ourselves in a risky situation. We were able to make it back to town and ended up being stranded there for nearly 3 days before getting a working vehicle again.
Let it go.
Well, after 2 days of doing everything we possibly could do in town, the truck has been fixed. We are back in the mountains, and we've got about 2.5 days to get Ryan his bull. And this is the area that we were told about by a new friend. Thank you, Mike. And we are going to hit this bugger as hard as we can for the next 2.5 days. Getting all changed up, getting all geared up to go in. Never know, maybe tonight's the night. Maybe tonight's the night. Maybe tonight's the night.
Ultimately, things fell flat as we were pressed for time after our breakdown. We continued tromping through the mountainside trying to locate a herd or satellite bull, but we were unsuccessful. We came in close contact again with some muleys, but just out of reach. In the end, as weird as it may sound, the hunt was still a success. Peace and happiness don't come from the material world. Rather, they derive from something greater, and one of the best places we're able to experience this peace and happiness is in the unmolested and unscathed stretches of God's creation. Experiencing it alone or with friends and family in today's world is a blessing all on its own. So what? The hunt didn't result in much meat being brought home other than the grouse. It was only a small portion to what took place over the course of a couple weeks. We were able to witness sights that few see, push ourselves physically, get out of our comfort zones, consume fresh air, encounter elk and other wildlife. We were able to feel glacial waters on our bodies, eat meals by the streams, bolster friendships, and imprint core memories. Measuring success by death is fractional compared to the full engrossment of the hunt at hand. And for that, we are grateful.